Alrighty, so what's happening this week? A Titanic digital twin we'll never let go of, Jack. Gaussian Splatting goes haywire. A tacklebox of tech for offshore wind farms and the life around them. 4 Contech firms proving AI ain't no buzzword. And an AEC Air of the Week in which the world's tallest library threw a brick fit. Greetings, recappers. One quick note before we get started. Our scene is off to Prague for 3 dice, so it's newsletters only for the next few weeks, but when we do return, gee willikers, do we have some interviews for you with geniuses involved in recapped stories. So stay tuned, we thank you for liking and subscribing, and let's get down to business. Get James Cameron on the blower, recappers. You got a Titanic lead story coming your way on the capture and twinning of 1912's Queen of the Ocean. This accomplishment sits in an echelon of one. It looks like Celine Dion sounds, but don't think for one North Atlantic second that shipwreck scanning and mapping haven't experienced extraordinary feats before. In fact, one was at a time when to 99% of folks, scanning meant ringing up groceries and robots meant I, Will Smith movie, as in 2004, when Greek researchers were seafaring across the Aegean. They were employing side-scan sonar as a part of a vast survey in the Chios Strait when they discovered a 4th century BCE merchant shipwreck. The Hellenic Center for Marine Research confirmed the site's archaeological significance, thanks to their Super Achilles ROV, remote-operated vehicle, definitely didn't have a heel. The excitement was just beginning because the ideas were just brewing. What if we could employ this burgeoning innovation known as autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, to map, capture, and reconstruct this Mediterranean time capsule? The researchers pinged the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, WHOI, to propose a collaborative survey using WHOI's Seabed AUV, which had recently demonstrated success in deep-sea imaging. By 2005, an MIT and WHOI-led team deployed it, and over 4 missions, the AUV scanned the site and its bounty of cargo, forging a topographical map while capturing 7,000-plus overlapping images. These would be stitched into a 1 centimeter per pixel photo mosaic that documented over 350 amphoras, big ol' ancient jars, and hull fragments. Antiques Water Show, anyone? It was a red-letter day for underwater survey and mapping, shipwreck photogrammetry, 3D reconstruction, autonomy, sonar technology, and archaeology. It illustrated that what would take divers months, if not years, could take AUVs days. There's a 2006 quote from the excursion's co-pilot, Brendan Foley of the WHOI. We're not looking for footnotes anymore. We're looking to write new chapters and are convinced that in 10 to 15 years using these methods, we will have changed history. Can a human be more prescient? More shipwreck history changing coming right up. But first, know this image, a portion of the 2005 photo mosaic over the multi-beam bathymetry, is months away from being able to buy beer. Hit those show notes for some quick caps on the competitive edge of innovation in architecture, engineering the future with digital twins at LSU, a Bentley Google collab, drone news galore, Revit 2026 marks 25 years, so what's new in BIMovation, and college students using VR to enter demanding workplaces. And with that, recap number 1. Leo, if you were king of the world, this is the digital twin of the world. For determining what exactly happened during the unsinkable ship's demise, hindsight isn't just 2020, it's 2020. And get the popcorn ready, because the revelation is all courtesy of a new National Geographic doc, Titanic, The Digital Resurrection, in partnership with Atlantic Productions and Deep Sea Mappers Magellan. BBC's coverage explains how, plunged 3,800 meters deep in the Atlantic abyss, underwater robots scoured the legendary wreckage, capturing its remains from every conceivable angle. This yielded a trove of over 700,000 images fused to create a digital twin that resurrects the Titanic's form in breathtaking detail. No sign yet of that string quartet, or that Hope Diamond necklace, or that car where Jack and Rose... moving on. Titanic analyst Park Stevenson said, quote, "It's like a crime scene. You need to know what the evidence is in the context of where it is, and having a comprehensive view of the entirety of the wreck site is key to understanding what happened here." Highlights. The moment when the vessel violently tore apart during its descent to the ocean floor, claiming 1,500 lives in the aftermath of the iceberg collision. Stunning detail unveils the boiler room where heroic engineers sacrifice themselves to maintain power until the final moments, a discovery that validates survivor testimonies. Meanwhile, simulations suggest a startling revelation. The mighty vessel's fate was sealed by hull breaches no larger than sheets of paper. These simulations were helmed by Professor Guillaume Key Pike from University College London. who along with his team employed advanced numerical algorithms, computational modeling, and supercomputing capabilities to reconstruct the sinking. It's a landmark breakthrough for Titanic research, but experts still anticipate needing years to sift through each detail of the 3D model. Maybe decades if they find that French girl drawing. Recap number 2. A new tier of Gaussian splatting is taking imaging beyond imagination. Though debate may continue over whether Moore's law is stalling in 2 dimensions, it sure is thriving in 3. While traditional imaging was leisurely in its 2D evolution, the pace of progress in 3D reality capture feels less like iteration and more like a phase change. This is the nucleus of a half-advocacy, half-case study piece from Michael Rubloff, managing editor of the esteemed Radiance Fields repository. It explores where we go from here and why the concept of capturing reality is being redefined in real time. Better yet, it spawned from an experience Rubloff anointed the best dynamic Gaussian splatting in the world, crafted by the imaging maestros of infinite realities. Surrounded by 176 cameras and 484 lights, with every wasted second equivalent to 127 gigs and every frame precisely calibrated to fire simultaneously, Rubloff described it as surreal and overwhelming. The result? 300,000 still images of him, and a reconstruction pipeline of heavily calibrated, structured, and scalable flipbook sequence processing of per-frame Gaussian splats. Rubloff reflects on how these innovations challenge conventional expectations of photos and videos, emphasizing that while consumer-level accessibility remains distant, advancements in hardware and neural rendering are rapidly lowering barriers. Companies like NVIDIA and Meta are driving this progress, enabling immersive experiences through technologies such as Hyperscape and VR demos. Rubloff concludes with optimism about the future of imaging, asserting that lifelike 3D captures could redefine how humans interact with memories and digital environments. He believes that the transition from 2D to dynamic 3D imaging is accelerating thanks to breakthroughs in radiance fields and related tech. While research papers suggest widespread adoption is still years away, Rubloff sees these developments as foundational steps toward a new medium for documenting human experiences. His visit to Infinite Realities reinforced his conviction that the imaging frontier is expanding rapidly, with profound implications for storytelling, memory preservation, and digital interaction in future generations. Recap number 3. Birds in the buoys. AI LiDAR, geodata, and smarter offshore wind farms. Wind energy is a solid hedge. Its turbines can go where solar panels can't and can produce on cloudy days when the sun's rays take a rain check. It evades the danger stigma of nuclear. And hydrogen? It's like the MySpace of clean energy. Big promise, a few early fans, but a lot of silence. Unfortunately, though, there's one massive wind energy downside that has experts racking their brains. Effects on life underwater and birds above it. And while progress is being made on the former, a partnership for the latter is spreading the wings of avian safety, environmental monitoring, and renewable energy. It consists of geodata dynamos Fugro and intelligent biodiversity monitoring maestros Spore. Their stated goals include, quote, helping renewable energy projects reduce environmental impact, developing a new AI bird monitoring system for offshore renewable energy projects, and making environmental assessments more affordable, cleaner, and safer. The hero in this story is Fugro's Sea-Watch wind LiDAR buoys, which record bird activity on wind farms. Spore's computer vision and AI software then take the reins for species and activity analysis. It is a tidal wave of efficiency, disposing of the burdens within traditional methods of offshore bird monitoring and legally mandated environmental assessments. Costly aircraft and vessel requirements, high carbon footprint, and storms that would have Lieutenant Dan screaming from a mast. Testing and refinement are underway in the Norwegian North Sea because for ornithology technology, no one says yes way like Norway. Recap number 4. 4 Contech firms are bulldozing old workflows with AI. The construction industry is like a noir detective novel. Oh, the woes of the job site, a gritty cityscape overrun with mysteries to solve, eh? Delays, inefficiencies, safety risks, the cacophony of machinery suppressing innovative thought. And Dave over there has been on a marathon smoke break. What's he up to? This renders AI as the hard-boiled private eye, armed with pioneering tools to uncover the truth and get subs paid. Companies from $360 billion juggernauts to scrappy startups are implementing it to get just the facts, ma'am. And according to Construction Dive, 4 recent implementations are craning above the crowd. The publication first explores a global powerhouse, Oracle, which is augmenting payment management for subs, mostly through Turing test passable interaction and monitoring. It has added agentic AI capabilities to its Textura payment management system, reducing time spent searching for payment application status, supplying invoice details, and boosting system navigation help. So subs can now simply type queries like, "What is the status of my payment?" Or if they're a mafia sub, "Where's my bleeping money?" to receive contextualized responses that guide them through the process. Quote, "Subcontractors are essential to project success, but paying them quickly and correctly is a complex process," said Mike Antis, Oracle's global VP of Textura. "By adding agentic AI capabilities, we are taking even more time and hassle out of the payment process, especially in those vital subcontractor draw weeks." Second up is BuildDot's line of balance project tracking technique, which through AI and real-time site data prevents bottlenecks like MAD prevents bottles. The Tel Aviv-based Contech startup's new feature displays progress and delay risks across multiple activities in a single view. This allows teams to identify future bottlenecks, manage dependencies, and adjust pacing to prevent progress blockages before they occur. Unlike traditional methods requiring manual entry, BuildDot's feature leverages site-specific AI-driven progress data to optimize dependency management and work balancing. Quote, "GCs who practice the line of balance method today rely on manual calculations, pen and paper, or workaround solutions in their scheduling software," said Roy Dannon, BuildDot CEO. "We're providing teams with unprecedented visibility into activity on site and allowing them to spot potential bottlenecks and act before the cascading delays start." The tool not only prevents disruptions but also identifies optimization opportunities, such as underutilized work-ready areas where trades could be deployed more efficiently. The third entry is from Israel-based W.E.B, which has established its U.S. headquarters in Englewood, New Jersey, alongside introducing its new EG7 battery-powered drywall painting and sanding robot. The EG7 operates fully autonomously without external references, using AI, 3D scanning, and real-time modeling to guide itself with no preparation, measurement tools, special markings, or BIM tools required. The 800-pound robot functions independently of external pumps, hoses, electrical cords, Wi-Fi, total stations, or external sensors. At only 27 inches wide, it navigates through standard doorways and tight spaces. Its onboard pump and 18-gallon hopper can be quickly swapped with a dust collector for sanding applications. According to W.E.B, the robot can paint and sand 1,500 square feet of drywall hourly. Quote, "Our robots are designed to operate alongside humans and require no tech skills or setup time," said Nadav Shuruk, W.E.B COO. "Robots can't fall off ladders or get neck, back, arm, and shoulder injuries from repetitive movements, and W.E.B's robots nearly eliminate dust on a job site, leading to healthier indoor air quality and better respiratory health." Last but not least is a construction monitoring software that, thanks largely to 360 cameras, is to job site health what hand washing was to human health. EarthCam, which just released Control Center 9 on April 9th. The New Jersey-based company touts numerous AI features for site safety and productivity, with 75% faster performance. The software detects over 85 types of equipment, materials, and their statuses, creating a searchable data set of job site activities. Its natural language search allows users to request imagery using everyday language rather than complex keywords or manual browsing. The new platform includes EarthCam Pano 6, creating high-res AI analytic models from 360-degree panoramic photography using a single pan-tilt zoom camera. Quote, "Control Center 9 is the most important advancement we have introduced in over a decade," said Brian Curry, EarthCam CEO and founder. Here it comes, gang. It is that time. It's your AEC Air of the Week, a dose of historical nonfiction at UMass Amherst's W.E.B. DuBois library, where you don't just keep it down, you better look up. Completed in 1973, it was designed to be an architectural centerpiece for the rapidly expanding campus. At 28 stories and 286 feet tall, it remains one of the tallest academic libraries in the world and was once the library height king, per the Guinness Book of World Records. However, its striking brick facade quickly became infamous for a structural issue that plagued the building for decades: spalling, where pieces of brick chipped off and fell from the exterior. This led to safety concerns, long-term mitigation efforts, and a chance to experience Newtonian physics outside the library rather than just read about it inside. It was due to improper attachment methods. The bricks were part of a veneer added late in the design process when planners opted for brick over limestone to save costs. The latter would also have required removing several floors from the building. The issue stemmed from how the bricks were attached at relieving angles along the facade. Narrow mortar joints made these areas vulnerable to damage from freeze-thaw cycles, causing pieces of brick to chip away over time. By 1979, the problem had escalated enough that the university closed the library for an entire semester, the only known instance of a building taking a sabbatical. Temporary measures included hay bales to isolate spalling zones, an ironic nod to UMass's agricultural roots, before replacing them with a chain-link fence that remained for over 30 years. Although no full bricks ever fell, urban legends persisted about bricks hitting students on the ground. Good luck studying with that caliber of a migraine. In 1983, UMass Amherst secured $2.5 million from the state legislature to address the issue. Renovations focused on repairing the brick veneer and reconstructing parts of the building's lobby and lower floors. While these efforts restored full usage by 1985, Spalling continued sporadically into the 21st century, prompting further safety measures and eventually replacing the chain-link fence with a more permanent barrier in 2011. The W.E.B. DuBois library saga isn't just another brick in the wall of architectural mishaps. It's a towering testament to what happens when gravity decides to critique your design choices. Had modern reality capture technologies been available, this academic tower of terror might have avoided its reputation as UMass Amherst's most dangerous game of to be concussed or not to be concussed. And it's not like its problems aren't viable ones here in 2025. Modern reality capture would have armed AEC pros with an arsenal of brick-saving interventions. High-resolution laser scans creating mortar-frying maps of every vulnerable joint before the first brick contemplated its daring escape. Thermal imaging exposing freeze-thaw conspiracies in glorious technicolor, revealing the hot and cold relationship between Massachusetts winters and structural integrity. Drone photogrammetry tracking facade degradation with the obsessive detail of a helicopter parent, eliminating the annual "look out below" season. And comprehensive building information models simulating environmental impacts, prompting that uncomfortable conversation no architect wants to have. Listen, I know you love the aesthetic, but these bricks have commitment issues stronger than your average dating app user. UMass Amherst learned the hard way that cutting corners on analysis leads to cutting off access on sidewalks. Reality capture technologies offer more than just pretty 3D models. They're the AEC equivalent of preventative medicine, exposing vulnerabilities before they become safety hazards and campus legends. Peace out, recappers. Again, our scene is off to Prague for 3 dice, so it's recap newsletters only for the next few weeks, but upon return, we have some dynamite interviews with recapped geniuses coming your way. So take care, and we greatly appreciate your like and subscribe.